Gauntlet. Now I had Gauntlet. I bought Gauntlet, I believe, with the adventure game The Pawn. P-A-W-N. Well, I did have some Pawn discs. So yeah, famously they recorded the arcade like tune there on a cassette tape and then sampled the cassette tape that they'd recorded. Right, so this is my favourite version of Gauntlet because of the increased number of colours on the floor tiles. It's very colourful and the graphics are quite large actually, compared to Gauntlet 2, which I've never liked. It's like someone said, okay, we're going to improve the speed of the game, and all they did was do ZX Spectrum fucking 2 colour floor tiles, and they reduced all the graphics by about 25%, and that helped the speed. There's some minor improvements to the code, but at what cost, sir? But this looks brilliant. This is obviously a bit hampered by speed though. It's a very early game, and the guy who wrote this game, he wasn't like an expert in machine code. So there is that. Where's my damn cola? This is really how you test the speed on any version. You just let rip with the ghost. So yeah, it does slow down when there's a lot of ghosts. So I come back from the show and I had this and that adventure game, we'll just call it that for now. Stop your childish jokes. I remember playing this late into the night many times, but I loved the arcade game Gauntlet. I used to play it in the local sort of like leisure centre where, you know, people would play sports, that kind of leisure centre. Now this is a ST exclusive as far as ST stroke Amiga stroke Archimedes goes. Now I don't know why I picked the warrior, because I usually go with the wizard or the elf myself, but I think I picked the warrior because he can take more hits. Take one for the team more often without going crazy. Again, the guy who did the graphics for this conversion, he was kind of new to the scene in general, never mind the ST specifically. I believe he could be a fellow countryman looking at his name. But anyway, it's not really that obvious. So when you're playing the game, you don't really notice the problem with the horizontal scrolling as much as when you watch someone else play it. So there's always that. And I always believed that it would have been better for them to like just improve the scrolling a little bit, but leave the graphics at the same size and the floor tiles the same sort of like 4 colours or whatever they're using here. Just looks better, much better. So, you know, I'd always play Gauntlet 1 and never play Gauntlet 2 on the ST. Today, that still applies pretty much. To be honest, I'd either play this version of Gauntlet or Gauntlet 4 on the Mega Drive and nothing else. That's about it really. Although the Amstrad version is really good, it's just that the arcade machine is a 16-bit arcade machine, and you need a 16-bit, you know, graphics chip and CPU moving things along to really get a nice conversion of the arcade that's remotely like the arcade, and it is kind of like the arcade with like broken scrolling hardware, because the graphics are nice, especially on the CRT. You're probably watching them on your crappy LCD screen. That's not really my fault. But no, the graphics are very stylish. They've used the colours very wisely actually. I mean, that jug of XX cider, that's obviously very nicely shaded, but you wouldn't think they'd be able to waste that many shades of yellow, and somehow it all kind of comes together and works. The ghosts look really good, the treasure chest looks really good, obviously the keys look fine there. I think the Barbarian is probably the worst drawn of the lot. However, he's okay, especially on the CRT. So like I said, I used to play this game into the small hours when I should have been doing work for my A-levels. I believe, yeah, on my Sony Trinitron. Same one that I've done loads of videos on the C64 now, but not the exact same TV. You don't want to know what happened to that TV, but anyway, let's not get into the subject of people I'd like to kill if it was legal. Let's get straight with that one. We've got enough dodgy videos coming out soon. So yeah, it's really just the horizontal scrolling. The vertical scrolling is absolutely fine. And you've got to remember, when I capture these videos, unless the game's running, you know, with an American OS ROM in the emulator, I can't really set them to 60 Hz. Unlike, you know. And, you know, it does cause problem on some games. Now there is a fantastic fixed version of this game which you can download and stick on the hard disk for your Mega STE, and it's actually been updated definitely to work properly with a 16 megahertz CPU. But I believe there's also a version that will use the blitter as well, which means it's better than the ST port job to the Amiga that exists for this. To play it about this sort of quality, you need an Amiga 1200 with 2 meg RAM. Right, it won't run like this on the Amiga 500 because it's an ST port job. So that's that French guy, he always does that. It's not really his fault. People know that's what they're going to get. He charges them, they pay, and gets released for free, I believe. Yeah, I don't really get into the politics of like things like that anymore. Like I said, I'm done with forums. It's not really my thing anymore. I can't be dealing with people who haven't got a clue what they're talking about, or people with low standards trying to force their low standards onto me. Chase HQ is shit. Just accept it and move on. Don't tell me you nothing wrong with Chase HQ. Chase HQ is shit on the ST, and it's an ST port job on the Amiga, mate. But no, this I suppose it's kind of similar to you know, VCS Pac-Man. People are always like, oh shit, shut up, mate. You didn't think VCS Pac-Man was shit at all. You fucking loved it because it was either play it on the VCS or go and get fucking robbed in the arcade as a little kid. It's not really an adult's game, certainly not male adults game of the early 80s will be playing now. And this is kind of the same. It's like people look back in there, scrolling shit's got slowed down, samples are a bit scratchy. But back in 1987 we were really happy with this. This was like, okay, this is how it's going to be. You know, here's one game. I'd rather play this version of Gauntlet than the smoother scrolling Gauntlet one on the C64 with the rubbish graphics. Yeah, if anything, the Amstrad has better scrolling than this as well. Certainly more consistent. Like I said, the up and down scrolling is fine. It's the left and right business. It's a real problem actually. But we didn't care. Just like you didn't care that the ghost flicker. You thought that was intentional as a kid in 1980 or 81, whenever Pac-Man came out. I believe it was 81, 82 at the latest anyway. So I was still like a little kid then. But I like the style of the graphics here, and yeah, you know, like I said, I'd rather play this version than any other home computer version. You can say what you want, that's just how it is, mate. I can deal with the slightly stuttering scrolling horizontally and then slow down. You know, it's a phenomenal game. The graphics are really nice, and it's doing sample sound playback, so there you go. What more could you want, mate? Nice graphics as well. 20 quid. I remember after getting this game I was at an Atari show, and I was looking at an accelerator card, a 16 megahertz CPU accelerator card for the stock ST. And I do remember thinking, I wonder how much better Gauntlet would run if I got one of these. Well, not very, because the early accelerators, they didn't really have any CPU cache or anything. You wouldn't have got anything like the performance of a 16 megahertz Mega STE. So you can, once you get death off the screen, it can't really get you. So that's just really one of those things. If you can get him off the screen before like an exit in or break in the wall turns up, you're okay. I mean, the graphics are just really, really detailed. They're very rich. There's a lot of rich detail in the graphics. That's what I really like. And like I say, on the CRT, a 14-inch CRT, they look brilliant. So that's kind of like, I was like, okay then, so this is how it's going to be with the ST. The kind of games I like are never going to be 100% better, but, you know, I'd rather have this than Gauntlet 1 on the C64. Or the Amstrad, or the Spectrum, or the MSX, or Dark Chambers on the 7800, or Gauntlet on the Atari 800. That's terrible. They use that crappy screen mode where it's 16 shades of one colour in the C64's chunky resolution. It's really terrible. I think the Sorcerer's probably my favourite graphics of the enemies. I mean, it's still got 850 something health. Now what I used to do is on when I was playing this on my actual 520 STM with the external disk drive, I used to have like 2 joysticks plugged in, and just before I lost all my health on one character, I'd like press the fire button or whichever the key was to conjure up the other character, and then you could continue indefinitely like that, I believe. Yeah, someone cracks up. Mummy, I made the illegal copy of the game. Yeah, good mum would slap you if you said that, mate. Right, Tifa trainers, go. This is Gauntlet 2. I prefer Gauntlet 1. This is a 1 disc hack. So some of the tune has been cut off. This is quite a long tune, that's why it comes on 2 discs. That was quite cool back then. I can't remember. I do remember these graphics and owning them. You know, but I can't remember if it was on the Amiga or the ST. I think it was the ST. I think my mate gave me a copy of the game. I never bought it for the Amiga because it was exactly the same game. Which means, yeah, when you're reviewing games on both systems, you'd have to mark the Amiga one down, really. Which didn't really happen. Alright, alternate. Is that going to work on this emulator? Wizard!
Welcome, Wizard.
So all the floor tiles now, they're like 2 colours, so black and brown, that sort of 2 colours. Not very good. And sprites have been shrunk. They look all right for their size, but it kind of makes it look more like a Sega Master System than what the ST is capable of. So basically, instead of finding some talented programmers, what they did is just they kept reducing the complexity and sophistication of the original Gauntlet game engine until it ran a bit better. So it's not silky smooth, but it's a lot better. I do admit that. Funnily enough, Gauntlet 2 on the C64, your main sprite increases in size over the previous version, although none of the other characters do change size. Actually, these guys might actually be the same size, but I should have picked the Barbarian Warrior guy actually. He may not be a barbarian, he may be a very nice warrior who happens to have a really naff hairstyle. What, I missed all of them, unless there's a trainer for that. No, I did miss all of them. Have faith, Mr. Commodore. Mr. C, Mad C. Do I really want to watch Blackadder? I ain't seen it for ages actually. Blackadder goes 4th. That's the only one I would watch now. Even that is a very cheap show. It's all set based bullshit. Ah, what bastard. Run to the hills. Ah, no, man. Anyway, you start off with a massive amount of health anyway. It's not unlimited though, I don't think. Shooting a potion has a lesser effect. Beep. Now I'm running it on a 1 megabyte setup, and I do believe you get more samples. You know, like sample speech playing if you do that. I do believe that was a thing. should really test this for a 520 ST, just in case it, you know, affects the actual speed at which it scrolls horizontally. I don't think it would. I don't think the coding is that sophisticated. We've already discussed the coding cock, as I like to describe it as. You know, some hackers say this is my kung fu and my kung fu is strong. Well, this is their coding cock, and they had to shrink everything. So I suppose if you're playing this on a 28-inch CRT back then, which was perfectly possible, you could get like a used one in the newspaper for like 50 quid. Let me out. I don't like that level. So yeah, it's really the floor tiles I'm not liking. Now on this level they look exactly like the ones I designed for the C64. Where I'm mixing multi-colour mode graphics, and there we go. You don't have to get your money's worth with that potion, boy. Potion! Must be like Paco Rabanne aftershave, which is what I used to wear. God, I'm always short on keys. It's a real arsehole, that is. Yeah, there's a bigger reliance on keys. Oh, you use a key to open a locked chest, of course. That explains why I'm one key down there, straight away. I have to settle for the economy treasure chest there, Mad Commodore. Yeah, sadly, there are no fit women at all. There's hardly any women, full stop. No, I'm not opening that chest with the key. I'm just really exploring what the graphics look like. I think this is the one where the exit moves. So you have to wait, really. I think I may have got that thing that fucks me up a bit. No, it's just the coding. It's just rubbish coding.
Oh.
So, yeah, the exit will move. Always short one. Ah, there it is. Catch the exit. Woo! And we, oh, hang on. How comes I ain't got a key now? I have got a key. Now we're not doing the Madonna jokes again. Well, I did listen to some Madonna today. Actually, it was only one track. While I was driving my car. It's a real shame about my car. It has so many stupid faults with it, but it's a great car. That's the sad thing. Yeah, what can you do, mate? What can you do? It's not like I design my own cars, isn't it? It's not like that's even possible. Oh, shit. Let me out in it. Thank you. You need to get down a level, so. Yeah, if you're just playing this on a 14-inch portable TV, the graphics are pretty tiny. But the beauty of the Atari ST is if you plug it into a nice Ferguson TX 28-inch CRT with fantastic speakers, it'd be brilliant. It wouldn't be that indistinguishable from the Amiga version, really, I suppose. You're still playing this shit? Yes. Leave me alone. I told you it's a selfish channel. Well, there's 3 keys up there. I can do the keys. There we go, I'll go with him. Some sort of trinket there of fashionable costume jewellery. So I'm still kind of playing it as if I haven't got. I think that amulet has fucked me up a bit because I'm not pointing the way that I'm pressing it. It's a bit weird. Right, we've got 2 potions, that'll do. Nice roast dinners there, can't go wrong with a roast dinner. Seems very much medieval sort of thing. You need a good hearty bit of food so you can have a plate of like roast meats, and I do believe this game is pro Atkins diet. I can't see any potatoes on that plate at all.
Red Wizard is hit.
Well, I mean anyway, because I'm the only person playing it. Because no one's allowed around my house, innit? Well, I've still got 2 potions. Shall I save them? Nah, look at my health is still massive. So I'll definitely write this back to a real disc to play it on a real ST with a zip stick. And on the 24-inch Sony I've got.
Red Wizard now has temporary repulsiveness.
I'm very repulsive, yes sir. So where's the goddamn exit? It must be hidden in something. Right, well I've got the old repulsive now. Have we searched everywhere? The exits are still moving. There we go, that dude. Oh look, the potion didn't get rid of them arseholes. There's the exit. It's disappearing. So yeah, I mean, it could have been a lot better. Mainly because of floor tiles of ZX Spectrum quality. If you can get past that, you'll enjoy it. But that probably means you never had the first one. Back then, when it mattered, when you could form a correct and informed chronologically relative period. Yes sir, that's correct. That is correct. You are correct about that. But yeah, it's not a hateful game. It's not like some games that I could mention. And for the ST, this is good. You know, it could have been better, I reckon. I think a programmer with a bit of bigger cock, that would have helped. It's an insanely difficult game. But, hey, why are they disappearing? It's not particularly fast when there's loads on the screen, but it is much better than the old one. Probably about twice as fast. However, graphically, it is a little bit less impressive. So, I think we leave it there for Gauntlet 2. It's not Gauntlet Poo, don't be rude. So, that's the worst thing about this International Karate on the ST. And that's the music. It's not even particularly good for the ST. Very run of the mill. Yeah, about this time you had 3D Galax from Gremlin, and Ben Dalglish's music to that was much better as an ST tune than this. But the graphics are really nice. There's a sort of purplishness to them. Turquoisey, purplish, cold sort of hue. Kind of Pete Lyons. You know, the guy who did the graphics for Leatherneck. Now the actual guys that are doing the fighting, they remind me of the 2 werewolves in Carry On Screaming. They really do look like that to me. Although I do believe one is much taller than the other in the film. And I suppose that's Mr. Miyagi there. But really, okay, IK Plus maybe like a smoother game engine, but the graphics are very, very similar to the C64 graphics on the ST and Amiga IK Plus. That's why I don't like it. And there's only one background. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't like it. So, but I did actually really like this. True story, I bought this game from Lasky's on my way home from college. It was 20 quid. and I took it home and it didn't actually work, so I had to take it back the next day, either in my lunch hour or after school, and get it exchanged. Now what I do remember doing is having a program where I can't remember which two keys it is. There's a key combination you press on your Atari, and it'll send a screen dump to a printer. Obviously the printer has to be 100% ST compatible. But there was programs that would let you do that, and when you press that key, it would save the screen to disk. And I did it for like a couple of backgrounds, and this was my favourite. This sort of Spanish, like, I don't know, town sort of cobblestone settings. It's really nice. So I just like moved the players here and there, captured a few things. This one's alright as well, but I think the one before was just that much better. There's things animating in the background, but yeah, again, there's no scrolling or anything. Again, we've got sort of like beigey sort of shadows on the thing, so this kind of reminds me of one of the backgrounds on Street Fighter 2, but this came before Street Fighter 2. This is I believe 1986. Came in like a big clamshell box. I think it comes on 2 discs, although I'm not sure. But the graphics of the fighters are really nice. I really like them. It'd be nice if someone took these fighters and put them in, you know, an updated game engine, so they would like play a bit faster. Although they're not bad. It's really a classic example of the original International Karate on the C64 is inferior in every aspect to this ST version, except the sound and the music. And that's really kind of how it would be as someone coming from the C64 to owning an ST. There was always that thing. The ST never really got rid of the stigma that, you know, it was one of the worst sound chips. It was a sound chip that came on like the cheapest 8-bit computer of the time, the Spectrum. Spectrum 128 was the first one with that sound chip. And the MSX as well, although they weren't that cheap. And yeah, you know, it's just like the graphics are nice. The guys with the camels in the background, the Sphinx there that blinks. I just like it. I think I had an original copy of Little Computer People for the ST as well, which I won't do because it's not really a game. One, you need the instructions, and I may have had that for the Amiga though, but it's the same, exactly the same game. Just the sound would be different. But yeah, I do really like the background graphics on this, and the speed is fine, and I like the graphics. The fighters as the graphics are really good, especially the guy in white. The shading and the colours there work really well. Now I recorded this with scan lines on, and I can't get it to run now on the emulator because it's a protected image. I don't know if one of the automation discs have a thing. So you can have the music on or off, regardless of sound effect. There's a bit of comedy as well in the animations. It was just a nice game. I quite liked it. I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, so this is what it's going to be like for these kind of games on the ST. 8 megahertz 68,000 was more than powerful enough to move like nice colourful big graphics around a non-scrolling screen. I think before I got an ST I knew the scrolling was an issue for it. I was quite a technical person by that time. When I got an ST I'd already read an article in Byte magazine of the preview of the Amiga 1000, and I've read all the technical bits and everything that came with it. Actually, I used to have a lot of discussions with my university lecturer who used to work for IBM, and he knew about Motorola. Actually, he was involved in some aspect of IBM that did have dealings with Motorola. I don't know, but anyway, he was a fan of Motorola as it is, so they did have PowerPC servers. So this is another really good background. Maybe if the water could be made to do that wavy thing, but there's no simple way of doing that, I don't think. Unless you're a real demo coder, that's the kind of thing. For most games programmers, Andromeda software certainly, we're not demo coder type coders. I think did Andromeda do Scarabaeus? They have done something else that I like as well. So you get quite a few scenes, but this is definitely my favourite one. And I did mess about with the colours in Neochrome. Neochrome's a really good pixel art package that you got free with every ST in the early days. In fact, I had 2 versions of it. But yeah, I mean, I think the guy in purple, they could have gone with different colours for him. It don't really work. But to be honest, these are the kind of games that they just look so much better on a real CRT. Even though I've tried to have the scan lines on there. Yeah, no, it's not really the same thing. It's not going to work. I think I used to mess about with the manually with the contrast range on some of the images that I think. But yeah, I saved like about 6 of the backgrounds onto a disc. God knows whatever happened to all that stuff. I've got no idea what happened to most of that stuff. I think it got lost in a mover board. I don't think I have those discs anymore. And there's a lot of Amiga discs that are like missing as well. I used to have a copy of Shockwave and I don't have that anymore. The umbrella's really nice as well. I mean, there are some aspects of the colour that are a bit weird. But I mean, for a 16 colour game, some of the backgrounds look really good with a fighter. See, on this particular screen, the purple guy looks a bit better. Although they've got like red and purple, a bit like how they do on the C64. They mix like purple in with like red and light red. They don't really go. But no, I think the graphics of the characters are really the highlight. They're really good. It's like the illegal love child of Charles Bronson and that one, not O'Hara, but the other big guy in the tournament, Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee has to fight early on before O'Hara. He doesn't kill him, but he does finish him off. Very colourful, this one. Very garish. So very realistic. So it's an official conversion of Joust now. Actually released by Atari. And there was a lot of this going on actually. Don't know if Pat Billy will ever watch this video. He might have no interest in the ST, but he does like Joust actually. So why am I not getting any of them yet? There we go, that's better. So again, you kind of got the problem that I don't know how much this was on sale for. Star Raiders was 20 quid. I did actually buy that for the ST. I actually like all versions of Star Raiders, even though they're all different. So this, even if it is a perfect copy of the arcade, well, minus the sound I would imagine, I don't think the arcade uses the YM2149. They should have got the YM2151, much better chip. Oh, that little pterodactyl type thing looks good. I don't know, is there like flames on later levels? I can't remember. So yeah, it's a very good copy of a very old arcade game that you might not think is worth 20 quid, even if it's a perfect copy. Well, it's a very good copy from what I can see. I'm no expert on Joust. Ooh, yes. So yeah, honestly, but Atari was doing this. They had all sorts of like old arcade games converted officially to the ST. And Star Raiders is probably the pick of the bunch, because Star Raiders is a great game. It might be an early game, but it's a great game, and they have actually updated the visuals somewhat. You might not like the updates, but it has been done. Ah, that music reminds me of that film, Forbidden Planet. That's okay. It's not really music. So doing Rampage now, which for some reason David Whittaker has cheekily installed 2 bits of music from Into Oblivion, aka IO, from the C64. Actually not that bad. Not as bad as that prick Jonathan Dunn seems to only be able to manage with the YM chip. Fucking loser. Anyway, I actually like playing the Wolf. For some reason I didn't press the function key, so I think I'm the Godzilla monster. Now this music don't really go with this arcade game. If you've had a C64, that's a weird thing, because it's not even a shoot 'em up. But it's nice music. Nice music to listen to while you're well, actually. I don't appear to be doing nothing, do I? No, I think I'm the Kong. I'm Kong! Kong Daddy to you, sir. Yeah, we all know who I am, mate. And I did actually have this on my SD. And I didn't feel ripped off for 20 quid. I thought it was alright actually. I knew what to expect. I had Rampage on the C64 as well. But obviously this is a non-scrolling game on a computer that can do 16 out of 512 colours with no restrictions in 320 by 200. The helicopters look a bit naff, but the rest of it is quite nice actually. So it was worth the extra 10 quid then, Mad Commodore, you cheap bastard. Well, 15 was the price of the C64 disc version, so like for like. Yeah, my favourite graphics are the characters. Although they're all good, all three of them are good. I think my favourite one is the Wolf, and then Godzilla. Yeah, I mean, it is an early sort of game as well. Well, when did this come out? 1988, 87? Can't remember. Can't be that late because I bought it for the C64 and then the S2. So, would help if I could remember exactly when I got the Amiga 1000. Yeah, those memories are sealed now, mate. But yeah, obviously, you know, with a friend, yeah, it'd be pretty good actually. It's one of those games where, as a one-player game, it is what it is, and but the fun really comes in when there's like more than one person playing the game, because you can punch each other if you want. They did actually make a film, Rampage, and it does seem to be based on the characters actually. It's got Dwayne Johnson in it. So I think it was after Jumanji actually. So the music is as good as you're going to get as a rendition of those Sid tunes. They've been done by David Whittaker in both cases. Sound effects are fine. The graphics are actually nice for what they're supposed to be, you know, representing, which is Rampage, the arcade game. And well, there's no scrolling, so you know, you're not really going to have any issues there. Unless some real idiots programmed it. So the thing is, the C64 version has completely different music, so you can't really say, oh, I prefer the music on the C64, because it's not the same tune really. Yeah, it's just, it's one of those games which back then was just something different really. And I think, you know, the ST version is fine. I think it came out on the Amiga. I'm not actually sure. I think it did though. Because I think this came out after some of those games that were not converted to the Amiga. I'm trying to think of an Activision one now. Was Enduro Racer done? Well, yeah, there's not much I can really say about this game. Much else. I mean, this is pretty much it, and these are the graphics, and that's what it is, and you either like it or you don't. Like I said, if you didn't have Rampage back then, you won't really get it now. You'd be like, well, you know, you'd be like a novelty, but yeah, there's a bit more than just a novelty. There's as a two-player game, it was a lot of fun in the arcade, and that does translate to the ST quite well, I think. So yeah, I'd say it's a win for the ST at the end of the day. Well, to something else again. Roadrunner. I actually had this game on my ST. I can't believe I had an Amiga on this game. It's a ST exclusive. Now I did have a quick go at this. Quick go, you know what I'm saying? Quick go. So that's what the shortcut is there for. It's a continue option really, and you get an extra life, which is interesting. Now, the first thing I noticed, but not what you'll notice, is there's a weird speed up that happened. And B, it's very tricky picking up the birdseed. Now sometimes I clearly miss it, but sometimes it's just being really fussy. Now I had this problem with the C64 version. See, there's a weird speed up business supposedly. Now that could be because I'm using a hard disk version. Someone transferred these to like hard disk images, and they changed a few things. The code has obviously been changed because it now supports a glitter. But this is running on a standard 520 ST spec, so yeah, like I was saying, that was a thing with the C64 version, playing it on the the PC keyboard. Right, so now neither of these things may be a problem if I dug out like the real discs and played it on the real system with a zip stick. They may not be as bad. Okay, that's the bad points aside, which may not actually exist. So unfortunately, enough of the house is not done for me to have an ST set up. I'm still working in the kitchen. So let's move on with the positives. Sound effects are a bit okay, but no, they're not bad. And the music is very twee and jolly. The graphics are nice. More importantly, they're doing software parallax scrolling, which you can't really tell on this level. You'll see later on, which I kind of forgot about, if I'm honest. It's been a long time since I played this game. Get a different tune on every level. It's kind of a memory game. And you know me, I don't really have like hours and hours to spend on one game. But I would have had that back then. Well, maybe. But the point is, back then, you know, didn't have like 10,000 Atari ST games. You could just pick and choose what to play, and when you got bored, play something else. Even if you're getting cracked discs off your dodgy mate Peter, who is constantly annoyed that you still played games on your C64. Now this is a multi-load game, so unlike Bubble Bobble, I did get this on the ST and not my C64, which was still working at the time. So there is that. Because obviously the ST only comes with a disc drive. Although people were asking if the 130 ST would have a tape deck, and the response was no, you'd be playing games on cartridge. But anyway, that's another discussion to be tabled for much later. I hope you can hear my bloody voice. So yeah, the graphics are nice. They're close enough to the arcade, considering, you know, the 16 colour limit of the ST. So I quite like this game because it's quite an original game, something different. I honestly can't remember anymore if I did or I didn't like, you know, Wile E. Coyote. And obviously when you're playing this game you don't like him because you know, basically he's trying to get you. I think I went to the effort of putting in my actual initials. Again, I've got a keyboard right in front of me. Why are you making me use the virtual joystick to put my initials in? Luckily, once you get the first letter out of the way, the others are quite quick. So yeah, so for US Gold and an early ST game, so early that there was no Amiga version, it is pretty good actually. So let's see if I've got used to the controls here. This is my second go on this level. No, it doesn't look like it, does it? Like I said, it's a tricky game to play on cursor keys on the, you know, the PC keyboard. But yeah, I do like the parallax scrolling. Yeah, sure, it isn't pixel smooth like the C64, but it is parallax. It's kind of a weird time, because I always used to say the earlier ST games were more ambitious than, you know, later on when they were just like, oh, ST can't do parallax scrolling, we got to write the same thing for the Amiga as well. So there was like an era of yeah, I mean, horizontally parallax scrolling games that are not bad. And you know, there was games that used sampled sound. This one doesn't, obviously. You know, and later on, games seemed to get worse on the ST when they started doing like ST stroke Amiga dual developments, as they were called, which was the biggest cock up for both systems, to be quite honest, because the games were shit on both around that time. I never actually managed to destroy Wile E. Coyote. I'm sorry! I do like this method of reviewing games, where I'm just sitting there having a smoke, drinking some of my coffee, watching back my fruitless efforts, as I like to call them. But no, I mean, I was actually quite happy. Quite happy with this version of the game, I must admit. It was 20 quid for the ST at the time. I'm going to have to go back and try an actual disc image. Now there's a slight problem there, because some games, they're in a different format and I can't get Steam to run them, I don't even recognise them. There's two types of disc image formats. One is like the equivalent of D64 images, and the other one is the equivalent of G64 images for the Vice emulator. But yeah, there's loads of nice little animations. You know, know, the music is what it is. It's quite jolly. It's actually quite a difficult game. Moving around the track is not too bad. Like I say, it's actually picking up the seed. That's the problem. I think you can only miss so many before you actually lose your life or something. Yeah, look, the speed up like that really fucked me up. Oh, it's not exactly a 256 colour arcade game. I believe it's a Sega game, actually. I can't remember though. See, I've missed that bit there. I just decided, fuck it. Should have programmed the controls a bit better, innit? So we're back here again already. So yeah, like I said, it's not actually that hard to get like to level 3 or 4. Yeah, I only had like 2 goes and I got quite far on it considering. So it's not difficult or anything. Even on the disc version, like the load times are actually okay. The ST disc drive is actually quite fast. No problem there. Come on. Yeah, look, I missed 7 bird seeds. I'm not hungry, as Robocop famously said when he was offered baby food. No, thank you. I'm not hungry. Yeah, I don't like this level because it's a memory sort of thing. There's too many dead ends. It's the same reason why I don't like turbocharge on the C64. Although it is possible to avoid him, as you can clearly see. Yeah, at this point I was just like, I don't want to be in this maze section anymore. Just really want to outrun Wile E. Coyote, which I didn't do obviously there. But yeah, like I said, all things considered, for an early ST game, it's bloody brilliant. It doesn't really matter that the tunes are not on the seat because they're, you know, they're like cartoon kind of tunes, so I guess you could say. And that's it really. Wouldn't mind playing it on real hardware again. Right, I should point out that I had a lot of problems getting the trainer options on this thing to work because it uses the function keys and the screen capture program. It just interferes, so I had to run the program, set all the trainer options, and then run the screen capture thing, and then, you know, start recording, and that takes time. So the bit at the beginning is missing. So I should also point out that for screen capture purposes, I ran this on an American Atari ST, so it is running a bit faster. But yeah, anyway, if you notice the grey tiles that fade in the background on the 8-bit PC Engine version, they don't seem to be apparent here. So, like I said, I always said it, you know, the British software companies don't really give a fuck about you. For some reason you can still see the starfield even though you're inside the complex that you're blowing up, isn't it? But it's not a bad version. I actually had R-Type from the Atari ST. Again, I'm not sure why. probably it was just before I got an Amiga. I was literally buying Micromart every week and looking for an Amiga 1000. I decided I didn't want the disgusting looking Amiga 500. It's really horrible looking machine. Typical Irving Gould, Dave Haney era Commodore shit. Anyway, but mate, Commodore, they made the Amiga 3000 and that's brilliant. Well, apart from the keyboard, which is a bit big and ungainly, the case is nice. And the motherboard is absolute useless wank. Fucking anyway. This is my favourite level. Even on the arcade, those little like red intestines in the glass tubes, they don't do nothing, they are static. Really, that's... Well, IREM, they're not exactly Konami, are they? So there's that. The king of shoot 'em ups is Konami. Radius Nemesis, stroke, whichever you want to call it, Salamander and Vulcan Venture. They are the greatest shoot 'em ups of the 80s. And if you don't agree, it's not my fault you've got shit taste in shoot 'em ups, is it really? But yeah, no, I did have this. And certainly I didn't have a cheap version because I bought the original, 20 quid. Oh, actually I just remembered 2 other Activision games I had. It's actually not bad. If anything, it just highlights what a piss poor job people were doing making use of the Amiga custom graphics chips back then. Dual development. Yeah, what can you say, mate? Yeah, obviously the screen goes red because of the trainer. Not really sure why it has to do that. Yeah, there is a bit of slowdown, but I mean for a machine that's just like pushing everything along with just a CPU, it's pretty good. I mean, they don't do the old Amstrad trick of shrinking the screen because their coding cock is too small. You could easily like draw things on a smaller screen on the ST, whether you got a border or not. It's just the way it works because it's all software scrolling anyway. Well, Roadrunner does it for a start, so there's that. It's only like maybe about 5, maximum 10% of the screen missing. But I'm only going to show you the first 2 levels, although I did probably get to level 3 on the ST version. But level 2 is my favourite, and you've got to have level 1 because it's iconic. But there you go. R-Type on the ST is nowhere near as bad as you would expect it to be. The sound is alright, the title screen music is shit, but the in-game music is fine, sound effects are fine. Slap Fight! Me and Jim Beam are going to be reviewing this game. Yes, Jim Beam, sir. Now the graphics are actually quite nice on this game. As I believe it's a late 80s game. So again, if you just bought your £284 520 STFM from Silica Shop and other places, there are alternatives, as Ben Kenobi said. This is what you probably would have bought if you like, arcade shoot 'em ups with a bit of pedigree from the arcade. Problem is, it's quite a frustrating game as a home game. The problems this game has is the same problems that the C64 version has. And amazingly, the problems that you think it's going to have, like dodgy scrolling, don't really materialise. So there's no real problem with the scrolling. And the graphics have been done quite nice. And let's face it, the music from the arcade game, unless you had like a shit hot Hubbard remix like was the case with Commando, well, they're pretty shit anyway. So the YM2149 is perfectly adequate for replicating those rubbish arcade tunes, but the difficulty is that your shots don't go all the way to the top of the screen. You have to be nearly halfway out the screen to actually hit the stuff as soon as it appears at the top of the screen. And you do have to sit near the keyboard to press the space bar. And to be honest, the only upgrade you really want is speed up or laser, so you can have a longer range for your shots. For some reason I feel like Frank Costanza, while I'm talking, this could be the Jim Beam. Look, Jim Beam. Oh, you never see that because I only use the audio from these recordings. Already recorded the gameplay. So yeah, I mean, there is a slight issue here with, you know, the original arcade game is not brilliant. However, it's a good conversion of a rubbish arcade game. That's really the most accurate way that I could describe it. Especially with this much Jim Beam inside me, and it is Jim Beam. Fuck Jack Daniels, mate. Jack Daniels is for the millennials. People who actually have taste buds at work will always choose Jim Beam. Possibly Southern Comfort, but it's been quite a long time since I've had a bit of Southern Comfort. I don't mean the American bitches massaging my ear anyway. So yeah, this review is obviously going to be a bit tinted by the fact that I've had a bit too much Jim Beam. Can you have too much Jim Beam? Well, I don't know if I'd make it to the fish and chip shop to get some fish and chips, so that could be a problem. But no, I mean, this was always a problem on every home computer. People lined up to convert arcade games, and then they did convert them as they were, with no modifications, unlike Nintendo, who did do modifications. Not always successful, but bless them, they did try. And the thing is, this game doesn't really work as a home computer game. At the very least, for the home computer port, your shots should go all the way to the top of the screen. Or you have unlimited continues and you continue from where you died. Don't know what it's like in the arcade. I've never played the arcade game, and I never would. By the time this arcade game was out, I was saving my 50p pieces for Outrun. Thank you! I must be really drunk because I can barely hear what I'm even saying. But bless Mad Commodore, he did drop his keyboard and he did have a fair go. I probably should have had a coffee instead of like 20% of a bottle of Jim Beam, but funny thing is, I feel like playing Blue Max on the C64 with cheats, obviously, right now, invincibility cheat. That's really another thing I've noticed. On the 16-bit computers, possibly other 8-bit computers, the quality of the cracks are a bit shit. The You know, on the C64 you can pretty much find invulnerability for any shoot 'em up you can imagine. If you go on CSDB. That's not quite the case on the ST Amiga and probably the Amstrad and the Spectrum, although with the Amstrad I am limited to tape images. Oh, it's been a while since I've done any Amstrad games, but things are going very badly at the moment. Relations with the rest of my family apart from my dad are in the fucking toilet right now because they're fucking obtuse and fucking idiotic motherfuckers basically. And my dad's in hospital, so yeah, I'm a bit distracted at the moment. And of course my fucking landline stopped working yesterday, which is really when all these problems started. And my fucking family didn't bother to ring me on my mobile, which I can't top up because the only card I can use to top up my fucking mobile phone has got fucking £40,000 in the account. Would you use that card? No, I don't think you would. And because I didn't know what the hell was going on, after a cryptic fucking phone call at 7 o'clock last night by my dad to say, you can't drive at night, can you? No, I can't fucking drive at night because fucking doctors 20 fucking years ago were thick as shit as far as diabetes go. So yeah, I can't drive at night now. And my car is a bit iffy anyway. Been working on my house, mate. So yeah, it's a bit of a fucked up situation if I'm honest. Welcome to the most shit review I've ever done. Now, do I bother to have another go? I couldn't tell you, sir. I couldn't tell you. I can't remember when I recorded these things, and they're all done with emulators, but as far as things like the Amstrad and the Atari go, you're absolutely fine using emulators because, well, I can't think of a single game on either system that runs at 50 frames per second anyway. And the thing is, I used to use my Atari ST with a SCART RGB cable, which means that's what I would use on an LCD anyway. So there's no real difference there. Apart from the fact that the keyboards for PCs these days are fucking designed for spastics, stroke millennials who haven't got a fucking pot to piss in because they keep wasting all their money on useless horseshit on Amazon. Yeah, I know this has got fuck all to do with Slapfight, but you know what? This Jim Beam is damn good, and this game doesn't really work as a home computer game. Same problem as Green Beret. So I'm going to be playing, even though it says controlled by mouse, it's if you press C. So basically, you want to press S when you see the option you want. Never mind what it says now. Right, now I could be completely wrong now. So, I actually had this on my ST back in the day. This is 1986 game, so I'm trying to think which one had the best graphics. Let's go to Europe. I'm not going to do all of them. All the music is horrible, even on the Amiga. I don't think the graphics actually go any faster if you press the turbo button. ZZKJ said that famously. Now I've got unlimited time, so no need to rush. the pixel art for the bikers is actually not bad, especially yours. Roadside objects are a bit Anko or Tyne soft, let's put it that way. And I don't mean Summer Olympiad, I mean, you know, Grid Start, that kind of rubbish. So the tracks are actually quite long. Oh, there's quite a bit of turning. I suppose for 1986, it's alright. I mean, I did actually get Enduro Racer as well, which is another Activision Sega conversion in the early days. Luckily I don't have to hear the horrendous music, I've got the sound down. Yeah, I don't know if I've got it right with the sensitivity there. So yeah, graphics are quite nice on this bit there, although it seems a bit of a change from you know, mountains instantly disappearing or whatever, but anyway. So yeah, like I was saying, for 1986, it's not bad. It's certainly better than Porsche Turbo Challenge or whatever it's called. No, Porsche Turbo Cup, that's what it's called. Now obviously I don't like the Amiga version because it is just an ST port job. But I don't like the Mega Drive version either. The Mega Drive is not particularly special bit of coding. The Mega Drive could have done a much better version. If you look at, you know, what Outrun and the Lotus games on the Mega Drive are doing, certainly could have been better. That was a bit risky, and I do have biscuits. Thank you for asking. But I think the coffee went cold about an hour ago. Yeah, I've been delaying the old shift changing. But yeah, I do remember having this game as an original on my ST, and it came on 2 discs. And then my mate brought round a pirate copy of the game, which didn't have any trading options on it, but it did mean I could, you know, load up the pirate copy and keep the original discs, you know, make sure nothing happened to them, just keep them in the box. So there was that. So I don't think the frame rate actually goes any faster. So. Yeah, I mean, the graphics of Your Rider are probably the highlight of the pixel art on this game, but there's a bit of a jelly wobble going on with the other riders, but it could have been a lot worse for 1986. I mean, it's better than Super Cycle on the ST, obviously. That's a C64 port job, that is. And it's not the only one that the ST got, I must admit. The Iridium looks pretty much the same as the C64 version as well. Don't move as fast, but yeah, it's not getting to that right now. They are annoying the way they just kind of like hit you. But at least they do kind of move around on the track, unlike bloody Chase HQ wank. So I've only got 2 more stages to do, so yeah, I think for the ST this is actually not a bad game, all things considered. I think the Amiga version is absolutely shit because it's more or less identical. But that's because the same person who wrote this wrote the Amiga version. Yeah, it's literally just an ST port job. But that would make it one of the earliest Amiga games. The earliest Amiga racing driving game that's any good is Highway Hawks. I believe that's by Anko of all people. It's actually more impressive than the Amiga version at least anyway. But it's for the ST. And you've got to remember in 1986 the Amiga would have cost you at least 1,250 quid in the UK. And that's if you had your own bloody telly, and that was for a 256K Amiga 1000. So yeah, we've just done that level, and it is what it is really. I think it could have been a lot worse actually. It's funny how there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 families of, 9 of which are clones of the other, family, and they've also replicated their clothes, which is interesting. But no, that's pretty good game for the ST. I would play that on the ST, and the music is not very good, but then the arcade music is rubbish anyway. So. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that one. Actually, I just noticed on the title page, 1988, the arcade game's 1986. You fool, Mad Commodore. You fool! Still good for the ST though, for an early racing game. So, this is TNT. Now it's funny that Mainmeister had this on his ST, and I had this on my ST. Because it's quite an obscure game. Good luck finding a copy on eBay. It's basically a Commando knockoff. But this goes 100% in the, proof that a game that hasn't been play tested properly and has just been rushed out, they just give you loads of lives. Now what I did with this version, I actually downloaded a version that had unlimited lives. Now that's not a perfect solution, as we shall see. I must have left this bit running so people could hear the music. It's alright, the music actually. Right, so yeah, helicopter straight away. Right, there you go, instantly you lose your life. So that's Commando knockoff with a helicopter, got to get that in there. Everyone walks as if they got rickets. Not sure why they've gone with these colours for the water. But then, it's only 16 colours. Yeah, if I actually get going and manage to get the screen moving, I'll talk about the scrolling. Yeah, the scrolling is not bad actually. The graphics are very French. The French ST games had a certain sort of look to them, and this is a classic example. The way they use the 16 colours is completely different to like how the British games were. I did notice that actually. Not necessarily worse or better. But yeah, you do get slowed down. The sound effects are like, well, I suppose they're okay. They are a bit tinny, but then that's the YM chip for you. At least they come out the TV speaker. Right, that's not going to work, is it? So yeah, as you can see, you lose many lives. I think you get about 9 or 10 lives, even without any trainer options. But even back then, I think I only got to level 3, and then it was like, oh, I've got enough money to buy another ST game, so I did. And I don't think I came back to it after that. I think I loaded it up sometimes just to hear the music, but it is a really, really difficult game. And sometimes you get stuck on the scenery. So it's basically like Commando. Once you get to the end of the scrolling screen, 18. I think you start off with 18 lives, and this is where it would show you how many you've got left, and I'd have about fucking 6 or 7 left. But the graphics on this section are actually quite nice, actually. And you do walk under the leaves of the trees, so not only is the scrolling not too bad, except when they're slowed down, when there's too many like enemy soldiers on the screen. They are actually like, it's not like you can't walk under the trees, so. And this is quite an early game for the ST again. It's another one that never came out on the Amiga. We don't want it on the Amiga. Yeah, alright mate. You can pipe down. Sometimes the Amiga fucking community on the forums, they're a real fucking trudge to put up with, I tell you mate. Well anyway. But yeah, I mean, technically it's not bad, but it was just like put you like here is putting me in the line of fire straight away, and there's no way. I mean, you can't even see them; they're like hidden. There's no way to see them. So it's a bit of a double-edged AK-47. Oh, my cat's investigating the camera now, and the camera is precariously balanced on a copy of Zim Salabim. It's a shit game, but the camera's not shit. And not that it really matters, because we'd be using the, you know, the screen captured footage from the emulator. So, as you can see, many lives are lost in this game. That's why you get so many lives. I think someone should do a conversion of Who Dares Wins for the ST and Amiga. That'd be nice. I actually had Atari Warriors, I just remembered that, for the ST as well. I think that must have been just before I got an Amiga. There's quite a few games I had on the ST. But it did take a while to find a second-hand Amiga 1000, and I only got that relatively cheap because famously the doctor who was going to you know, get the more powerful Amiga 500 sold it to me for 275 quid. So that's how I got an Amiga 1000. By mail order from Complimart, mate. Yeah, no, I'm telling a lie. I'd rather be I'd rather be doing these reviews while playing the game, but it's not really worth it if you're not playing them on real hardware. It's absolutely fine doing it like this, and well, to be honest, Retrotronics is such a dead channel, it's not really going to make any difference. Yeah, there's just certain places where if you lose a life, it's just going to constantly put you in the line of fire, and you'll just lose loads of lives. And he managed to get me. I think the graphics on level 2 were probably my favourite. This is as far as I got. Now, when I was playing the actual ST game, I think there's about 8 levels. It took ages to like get through them all because you lose so many lives. Really, you want invulnerability. My cat's just sat on me now, so what's going on, buddy? I can't even get up. Right. Where the hell is it putting me? Right, okay, so it puts you in a slightly different place each time, but look how many lives you just lose. It's just brutal. Yeah, it's just frustrating to watch this, never mind actually be playing it and doing your review at the same time. Oh, and those grenades they throw, you don't get any grenades, just so you know. I mean, I've lost about 20 bloody lives here. It's because someone keeps firing their grenades at me. And someone else is firing at me as well. So finally we managed to sort them out. So it's insanely difficult due to like bad design. And you can't really see the soldiers because they're always sort of like hiding behind trees and things like that. So, and the colours are very similar. It's like 5 shades of beige, 8 shades of green, 3 shades of brown, and a red beret, and machine gun in the top left corner, and machine gun fire. Very frustrating game. And then that happens and you get stuck and then you lose a life and you're like, no, please not here. You just really, see, the hit detection on the grenades is pathetic. Funny thing is, Commando on the Atari ST is actually really good, and so is Ghosts and Goblins, by some miracle. They're both very close to the arcade, but Ikari Warriors and Ghouls and Ghosts is shit, but they're shit on the Amiga as well. It goes for both games. They don't really look like the arcade. I mean, it's just brutal. It don't really give you a chance. It just puts you straight in front of them, and then you know you're fucked really. Yeah, it's not easy. They should have used a different palette really. This is like a supercharged version of the, you know, the browns and yellows of like badly written C64 games. Actually, I think I'll discover in a minute that you could actually shoot through the wire fence. I think it was out of sheer frustration. There you go. And just as you clear them off, another bloody helicopter full of arseholes drops off in front of you. What is this, Vietnam? Enough with the arseholes dropping down from the helicopter. Go away. Mad Commodore getting topical there. So, yeah, so it's not that the graphics are shit, they're just very difficult to like notice things, and it is a very difficult game. However, the bullets and the grenades are easy enough to tell. Whatever level you're on, they've done them in a colour that's easy to see, so that's okay. But seeing the soldiers when they're, you know, when there's places that they can be hiding in. See, I don't know if this is the end of the level now, because sometimes it won't let you scroll up anymore. See, it forced me to stay there, and I just want to keep scrolling up the screen. So it's really just a mad rush to get to the top with, you know, losing the least number of lives possible. I don't know why I was like messing about there. Just stop messing about, mad Commodore. Well, actually, I could be on a live stream right now, but yeah, like I said, you know my thoughts on the live stream. I don't really have a need to interact with people who refuse to come on my channel. Doesn't matter what system I do videos for. And one of them's a prick who keeps doing BBC Micro Colour fucking graphics on the C64 anyway. So he can fuck off straight away. I can't remember what the next level looks like. Yeah, you just feel that the graphics are nice, but the palette choices are a bit too similar. It's kind of like a digital sepia tones. Finally, we've done this level. It's a miracle. So I've rescued the POWs, and that's the end of the game. So there isn't 8 levels. So yeah, that's TNT for you, mate. Sidewinder on the Atari ST. Now, this is a £10 game, I believe, Mastertronic. And it's got the same sort of sample sound as the Amiga version, and well, the left and right scrolling there is not particularly smooth, obviously, but the vertical scrolling is right. I mean, I'm more upset with the quality of the actual pixel art than the, you know, the quality of the vertical scrolling. It's not a very good game anyway. But yeah, it's famous for me, maybe not for you, but for me, because it's got, I wouldn't say it was a horrible remix, but it's a very unusual remix, and very 80s, late 80s remix, late 80s Amiga music remix of Panther by David Gibbons. On the Amiga, you only get to hear that music while the game's loaded. So I'll leave the music running, but yeah, it's standard bread and butter business. It don't look great. It's not particularly smooth, and there's better shoot 'em ups on the C64. So as an owner of a C64, I've never bought this, either on the Amiga or the SD. So now to do the SD hardware, it's just a crap game. go. I can't remember if I bought this. I think I bought this, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm honest. If it came in a sort of like the same sort of case as the Mastertronic, not Mastertronic, the Codemasters ST games came in, then yeah. See, they got one thing right. When you press the single fire button, it fires both, so that's okay. I think the arcade game has like 2 different things. Fire button. Ah, come on, man. I used to play this game, obviously in the arcade cabinet, guys, not the SD, in the cinema in Enfield Town. It was right by the stairs, near where you pay and get your tickets, near the entrance actually. Well, I might as well tell you that when I was about 15 I looked about 18 anyway. Which is why, when I went to, you know, watch something like, I don't know, fucking, I used to watch horror films in the cinema. Well, you might as well. And no one used to ask me for any idea. That's not actually an advantage before you think I'm boasting. A candle that burns twice as brightly fucking burns your fingers twice as much, mate. As they say. It's actually a tricky game, that's the thing. It looks very simple, but and having to use a shitty fucking millennial modern keyboard with a shit fucking cursor key buttons and a fucking up and down cursor buttons. They're half the size of the left and right one. It's ridiculous. They're like half a key each. Fucking millennials. Funny innit that second-hand car prices. This is like the second full year in a row where second-hand cars increase in value. They don't decrease in value, no. They're fucking dumb shit millennials will fucking buy anything, mate, for any price. Fucking ridiculous cocksuckers. Ridiculous asshole, innit? I don't know which one of them do and don't fight. Oh, that's really easy. I can't really see the white bullets on there. But I did play this on the SD because I remember being impressed by the scrolling, even though it's only like 3/5 of the screen wide, I suppose. It is a full height though. Hey, nah, we're fucked. Is this me starting right at the beginning with a new set of lives? Because I can't see how many lives I've got. Is this my last life? I haven't been paying attention to the enormous fucking status panel. Yeah, no joke, the reason why I never ever considered buying a Jaguar is I looked at Raiden on the Jaguar and it had this massive fucking status panel on the side, like a shit fucking badly programmed ST game. I was like, what kind of fucking 64-bit is this? Is this Tesco value 64 bits? It fucking was, mate. I was correct. So I was correct not to buy a Jaguar because, who wants to pay 50 quid to play fucking Tempest 2000 on the cartridge? That's not really what I wanted. I wanted a perfect arcade conversion of Raiden. The full fucking width for the screen, mate. Anyway, the Jaguar is shit and I'm glad you agree with me, mate. So obviously you get more than one fucking life don't really know what's going on with this game. I like the way the shots go all the way to the top. That's very importante. Mucho importante. Ah, fuck. It's a real cunt. If you get the middle one, they'll be like, oh, a bit slow down there. Ah, come on, man. I did really well there. That's good. Okay then. We try something else now. Okay, that's not good. Let's see. The fuck is Alright, where's this two then? Alright, there's this two. Yeah, it was all going so well until then, but you can't expect them to do a parallax scrolling shoot 'em up and software sample playback. We're going to have the music off and one player game because no one's allowed around my house. Yeah, I can get the version to work for my Amiga. I don't have a crack copy. In fact, all the crack discs I've picked up with Amiga bundles, they're all shit games. These people had no taste in games. Anyway. I am ready. I've just been watching you do a countdown, mate. Ah, yes. The rapid fire option is working well, sir. So there is rapid fire in the newer version of the emulator I'm using, which is useful. Oh yeah, that's the other thing in this game. You can actually go backwards a little bit. Not much though. I don't know why. Maybe if I stop firing it will let me go back more. No. I'm sure you could go back more than that, but yeah, again, this is one of those games where I only really have a problem with it on the Amiga. And for the ST it's absolutely fine, especially if you bought a £300 520 ST FM. Gotta get that in there. So I'm not really noticing any slowdown as yet, so it is really well programmed. Take them out, take them out while you're still young. Oh, that sounds very iffy. No, he's not meant like that, mate. Ah, come on. Yes, energy-based game, so I don't know if we started right at the beginning. Let's see if the tube rules turn up. Yeah, there they are. Ooh, they take a lot of the energy, you know that. Oh, I think we're in the wrong section here. And this is where you would back up. And then that happens, which is a bit like up and down when you're going in reversing up and down. And you get rear-ended by the rude computer drivers. So yeah, actually this rapid fire option I've set up on the emulator, it works absolutely fine. This isn't even the fastest option. So anyway, you shouldn't really be gaining that one. So these things cause a bit of slowdown, I think. So I'm just going to sort them out one time, two times. So yeah, it's absolutely fine for the ST. Although this is a game which is quite late in the 16-bit era for me. This game is sort of the time when, you know, I would be getting like Mega Drive or PC Engine import games, stuff like that really. We need energy, whatever's going on, we need the energy, so. Yeah, they're a bit stingy with the energy power-ups. I think that's the only one we can buy, which we've already got, haven't we? So we powered that up, so that's a bit of a rubbish thing. Yeah, we didn't collect enough cash. I don't know what that is, that's the problem. I want the extra energy. Because we're not going to last there. Well, does that mean we can buy everything here? Because I don't know what that is. Yeah, Super Nashwan. Yeah, that's like your massive power up, but we're going to die pretty quickly because we ain't got a lot of energy. We'll go that. Yeah, we can't have anything else. I'm too poor! Well, this should test the slowdown. It's still faster than the Master System version, even with all this going on. So it's phenomenally well programmed. Ah man, see, I forgot. Damn it! Yes, we continue. Thank you. So it continue from the start of level 1. So yeah, all they did on the Amiga version is they used the 15 colour hardware parallax dual playfield mode. That's why the graphics are the same on the Amiga and the SD version. I think it is right from the beginning. Oh no, I don't think I've seen that one before. I don't know if you have to go over the things or you just touch them. Ooh. Magic, yo. I don't know what all the little power-ups are, but we're not topping up our energy, which is the bit I'm most interested in. And I could actually learn to play the game a bit better, so that would help. And I'm going to get that one, am I just lost that. Oh no! I think it's absolutely fine for the ST, actually. That's really the difference. Now they're doing software scrolling and it is parallax, so I don't know why they needed to use the hardware scrolling on the Amiga. It sounds like lazy or talentless programming on the Amiga port, but they probably didn't care because they probably weren't going to put in the effort to doing like, you know, 32 colour graphics for the Amiga and 16 colour graphics for the ST. It was just how it was back then. We took a massive hit there. I won't get the Super Nash one. Now if there was like a decent crack where I could use that all the time, unlimited Super Nash RAM power, then I'm sure we had 3 credits. Alright. How comes I've got even more points that time then? I keep forgetting to use a different fire button for the shop. Anyway, I need more weapons than this, but they don't appear to be appealing, so there's that. See, I was going for that power up, so I could really do with some speed ups. Yeah, it's actually a really good ST though. Well, we did pick something up, which was a heart. So what happened to my energy then? Did I crash into a million things when I picked it up? Cunt. Yeah, you don't move any faster when you don't fire, so you might as well just have rapid fire on all the time. I can't get there. Come to me, my little power up, and another power up. Thank you. Oh man. Yeah, that's the thing I'm not really liking about the ST and Amiga cracks. Especially the ST ones. They rarely have any trainer options. Now, after playing thousands of C64 games, that is annoying. Because if I just want to skip a level or show you like different graphics, I'm not here to teach you how to do a long play on the game. I'm here to show you the graphics and review them and the sound, obviously, if it changes. But it's the same music on every level in this game, so it wouldn't really matter. Yeah, no, they did a really good job with the graphics on this game. Ooh. So that power up turns up every single time then. Ah, they're just too much. We have to get to the shop. We have to make it to the shop, the kebab shop. Because I was hungry. Oh, I could murder a kebab. But I don't fancy travelling 150 miles to London to get a decent kebab, mate. There just aren't enough Cypriots that live up in this part of the country. And if it's not being made by a Cypriot selling to other Cypriots, it's probably a shit kebab, isn't it? My chip shop is owned by a Greek guy and the fucking kebabs are horrible. Because there's no other like Cypriots or Greek people to sell them to around here. So they can sell any old shit for any price and people won't really notice it. Right, I'm going all the way down here. Oh man. They just zoom off all the way and I can't get any of that cash. It's really annoying. We need the shop, the kebab shop, please. Please. Oh no! You see that one? The shot went right through the two bits of the ship, and game over. I'm sure David Whittaker done the music. Yeah. Well, technically this bit isn't written by Bomb the Bass, so I don't know why they should have said music, Bomb the Bass and David Whittaker. I don't believe Bomb the Bass did actually do any YM based tunes or even any Porsche stroke Paula based tunes either. I don't know why Commodore changed the names of the chips. That's another stupid thing. But it's the ST video, so we won't talk about that in this video. Yeah, no, that's for the ST. That's absolutely fine, mate. Yeah, you know, your mate got a Mega Drive. You're stuck with your ST that you got for 300 quid 3 years earlier. you're used to this kind of music anyway. And Batman rules apply. Just put the sound effects on, turn the music off, and off you go. The old Bitmap brothers, innit? Yeah, so I had Xenon, and obviously as someone who did own a C64 before I got my ST in 1986, early 86, I knew about David Whittaker, but timed perfectly. This was probably one of the first pieces of music I heard where I was like, you know what, the YM chip isn't actually that bad. It just needs talent to work it, which obviously Jonathan Dunn never had. Yeah, this was a very polished game for the ST, because we all knew the ST had a bit of a problem with scrolling. So, you know, to do a shoot 'em up on the ST, and one that actually played quite nice, you know, it would have been a challenge. Obviously the Bitmap brothers knew what they were doing. Now technically Xenon 2 is probably more impressive, but I really like Xenon. Can't remember if I bought an original copy though. That's the only thing. See, when I had a C64 I had so few copied games that, you know, I didn't really know. I didn't really know anyone, and I couldn't copy the tapes on a double tape or Python. They never worked. I tried many times, trust me on that. But yeah, so, you know, obviously as someone who had a C64 from 1984 onwards, and then I got an ST, I really got an ST basically because I was fascinated by, you know, the Macintosh OS in 1984 when I first saw it. But you know, you don't just play games with a home computer. If all you're going to do is play games, you buy a games console. So I wanted to do pixel art, and Commodore 128 wasn't really worth it. The Commodore disk drives were expensive, and I got my 520 STM and SF354 disk drive. I think it cost me a total of 440 or 450 pounds from CompuMark in Loughborough. And yeah, I don't know how to do this end of level guard. I didn't even get one shot in, you know what I mean? It's just, it is actually quite a difficult game, this, but not for the wrong reason. And basically the ST is really what Alan Sugar pretended the Amstrad was, you know, faster than the C64. Not really, mate. I don't see any speed increase in Rescue on Fractalus, certainly not as fast as the Atari 800 version, and certainly is slower on Skyfox. Buggy Boy is slower, and you know, Polygon wireframe games, they weren't really my thing. But yeah, like I said, I think my mate brought round a copy of this. I seem to remember you could actually click on, you know, the little bits in the window where he said something. I think they were separate files and you could do something with it. I have a vague memory of that. Bloody rolled up. But yeah, I was quite impressed with both the music and the fluidity of Xenon, and the fact that I had an Amiga, and this is a 1987 game, isn't it? So I probably had an Amiga at the time. What a lovely loading screen this game had. Yeah, this was another early game I had on the ST. I couldn't get Backlash to work. Every time I pressed fire to start a game, and I did have the instructions, so I checked, it wouldn't work. It just said game over every time you press fire. I don't know. I tried 3 different cracks. So yeah, Backlash was probably one of the earliest games. I was like, wow, yeah. Yeah, so I wasn't stupid. You know, I knew the ST was better at some things and not as good as other things. And the fact that most Amiga games were ST port jobs or done really badly anyway when they weren't, doesn't really affect, you know, my ownership of an ST. I did like my ST. Which is why, you know, a channel called Mad Commodore has got a 40th anniversary celebration of my 520 STM, which is exactly the same as the ST apart from a modulator. And obviously you can buy it on its own. But this game was interesting because this is basically Galaxians in 3D. And it is proper 3D, meaning you have to move up and down as well as left and right. So you see the 2 little bars on the small screen on the bottom, they show you elevation. So you have to line up in, and obviously you're constantly moving forward. So it is a proper 3-dimensional Galaxians, but the speed was a bit of a problem. But if it did come out on the Amiga, it would be even slower, so who cares? And I really did like Ben Dalglish's tune on this game. I thought it was fantastic. There are some nice tunes on the ST, you know. And if you play something like Risky Woods on the Amiga, it doesn't really matter if you've got 4 digital download converters, if the people making the music are going to do sort of like cheap, I don't know, Japanese techno style tunes for a game like Risky Woods. Doesn't go, mate. So, you know, all things considered. But this game is really difficult actually. Luckily for me, the screen capture thing kept crashing, so I had to play this 3 times. So, but this is the first time I've actually played this game in well, 4 decades, really. And it is really slow when the full, you know, formation is there. But it's a nice game, and the scream is nice as well. The sampled sound for the screen. And the sound effects are sampled as well, so yeah, that was a nice game. Yeah, Gold Runner. It's a real arsehole to get this one working. The first crack wouldn't work. You couldn't fire. The cracks for the ST, they're nowhere near the same quality as even the C64. Obviously excluding the nostalgia cracks, which never work with the ST to AEC. Yeah, that thing there, I thought you could go like underground or something, which is why I tried that. Maybe you can't, I can't remember. But yeah, when I got an ST, not long after, Iridium came out for the C64, which is a phenomenal game. And if you've played, yeah, I just made sure I didn't hit the sides there. They definitely can't go down there, so I wasted 2 lives just testing out my memory. Because I thought you could go like in the underground thing, but maybe I was just I don't know. I know it's not Battle Squadron. I know, but I thought you could do it on here as well. But yeah, the point was, if you had an ST and you played Iridium on it, well, it runs about as slow as the Amstrad version, really. I don't know if that's a homebrew or a commercial release, but anyway, Gold Runner has got exactly the same gameplay. I don't know, the graphics in the actual backgrounds, they do remind me of Mode 1 Amstrad games. That's not a compliment at all. Amstrad is a machine that really didn't have any place existing. It doesn't do anything. It's absolutely useless. In fact, I'd rather have the original Commodore 264, which was meant to be £80, until Irving Gould kicked Jack Trammell out of Commodore. Well, he didn't kick him out, but you know the story now. But yeah, basically this is Iridium for the ST. It's the same gameplay. If you go slow, the enemies appear. If you go fast, they don't really appear. So, but if you go fast, it's difficult to see on the 4-colour background. I think it's 4 colours. Might be. I think it is 4 colours. I don't think it's just 2 colours. But it's scrolling so fast, and obviously the screen capture is never gonna keep up with the thing. So, plus it would help if I set the screen capture to 50. But the other videos from an uploaded YouTube video where I'm taking out the games that I actually had for a more positive experience, because I don't feel like dissing the ST anymore. In 1987 it was the same price as Amstrad 6128, and you'd be a bit of a knob to get an Amstrad instead of an ST. And the Amiga at the time was £500 plus VAT, plus 20 quid for the dildo up the arse modulator, so you could connect it to a TV. And SCART cables were expensive as well. So you're looking at 600 quid versus 300 quid, so it was half the price. So what do you expect, mate? BMW 318 is not the same as a BMW 325i. So, yeah, let's not get crazy here. But it's a bloody hard game. That is the thing with this. However, it is fast enough to be called an arcade game. Whether you like the graphics or not is something else. Ikari Warriors. I had Ikari Warriors, but I used to call it Ikari Warriors. If you've been on my channel for like years, decades, whatever, then you'll know that I called it Ikari Warriors, and I know it's incorrect. And now, famously, I prefer the Amstrad version to the C64 version of this because the graphics are nicer. Some really odd colour choices, even with the restrictions of character-based multicolour mode on the C64. So that's why I don't like it. There was better colours they could have chosen. So, but anyway, this was a game I had for my ST, and I bought the original. I might have even bought it in shops, if you remember what that is. In shops was like a big thing the size of, I don't know, a small supermarket, maybe a little smaller than that, but not a mini market. It was a double fronted unit, and it went on quite back, and there was like tiny shops inside selling different things, and one of them was a guy selling computer games. I actually got my Atari 2600 Junior from in shops. because my 6-switch light 6er stopped working and I still wanted to play the VCS game. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought a Junior. And it was saying stupid like 30 quid, which was only 10 quid more than this game, which, you know. So yeah, my problem with this game is, you know, the graphics for the, like the trees and stuff, they're not great. But the rest of it is absolutely fine, actually. And yes, there is slowdown, I would admit, but there's slowdown on the Amstrad version. Yeah, that wasn't a good move. But yeah, there's slowdown on the Amstrad version, especially in 2-player mode, and it's not as bad as that. So, you know, I didn't mind that I had it on the ST. I had loads of games on the ST, but you know, I'm not going to make a 4-hour video out of it because people don't really watch my Atari ST videos, and YouTube don't really promote it to people who would, and that's just the way the algorithm works. My channel is over 17 years old, and the algorithm has decided exactly what kind of people watch my channel, which is Commodore people. Mostly Commodore 64 people. Although that might change with all the Microlife stuff I've been uploading, because there is ST and Amiga stuff in there, so I don't really know what's going to happen with this video. But you know, at the end of the day, I did play the arcade game once or twice, but certainly not as many times as I played Commando in the arcade. Now, I didn't have Commando for the ST. That's why it's not in this video. But Commando for the ST is a perfect port, and it came out after this, I believe, which is strange. The graphics are spot on and everything. It's almost, I don't know if they copied them by hand or they actually extracted them somehow, but I'm guessing they copied them, but they did a really good job. But you know, the pixel artist on this, he didn't really. So this was a bit strange. You can't blow up the thing with a tank. You have to use a grenade. But I would imagine a tank would be strong enough to take that out if a grenade is. But anyway. And this is where I tested it. So yeah, like I said, I was happy with my ST. Now, you know, don't get angry, but I'm gonna say I wouldn't have been happy if I had to sell my C64 to get an ST, because there's too many things I like about the C64. You know, I wouldn't have been happy losing a C64 in, like, you know, early summer 1986 to fund the purchase of my 520 STM and this one. But you know, that also goes for the Amiga in terms of playing games. But both the ST and the Amiga, I did a lot of other stuff. I used to use First Word to do my you know, A-level project work with and stuff like that, really. I used to use Neochrome a hell of a lot. I bought Quantum Paint, you know, the 4096 colour package. So there was a lot. I did some programming on the ST in STOS. So I didn't just use it as it was, you know, just to play games. I did use it for other things too. Yeah. I don't really last long without the tank. I'm not very good at this game. But it's the first time I played it in about 4 decades, so there you go, mate.